Well, we made it through another daylight savings time. Hope everybody got to work on time today. Not too much going on here at the house. I was going to go camping this weekend, but plans got foiled once again. The forecast started earlier last week, 50% chance of showers. No big deal, it's going to go. Then it got to 60% storms, then 70, and then it hit like 80% thunderstorms. And I'm not big on camping in thunderstorms if I don't have to. It's not enjoyable for me, so I just went ahead and canceled the whole trip. I do have a trip coming up in 2 weeks where I'm pretty much going to go because let's just say the campground already has my money, and I don't think they're going to give it back. So, anyways, until then, I got 5 envelopes we're going to open up on today's Mailbag Monday. So this first postcard comes to me from Pleasant Valley, New York. That's up near Albany, I guess. Let's open it up and see what we got here. Looks like we got us old 1940s, 1950s, 60s motel. It says U.S. Highways 45 and 78 within the city limits north of Tupelo, Mississippi. Let's take a look and see what it says here about it. Within city limits north of Tupelo, Mississippi. Recommended by Duncan Hines. Reservations suggested. Gives a telephone number open all year, air conditioned, wall-to-wall carpets, tubs and tiled showers, restaurants nearby. And it gives us the owners and operators there. Now, Highway 45 that goes through Tupelo, Mississippi has kind of changed locations 2, maybe 3 times. There's 45 alternate, there's Highway 45, and there's 145. I think there's like a business 45 and all in that area. It gets confusing sometimes if you're not paying attention. So I'm not exactly where this is because 45 runs north and south, whereas Highway 78 runs east and west, and where they meet at is like 3 different places. So I'm not exactly sure if this is still there or not. Really wasn't going to get this postcard. It paid maybe $2 for it. The one thing that kind of got me about it is kind of looking at it. Look at what it says here. It says merchandise show on TV this week's showcase. This week should be worth about $1,450. That kind of confused me. I looked over here. Christmas tree showcase. The Price is Right. How many of y'all remember The Price is Right? I grew up watching The Price is Right with old Bob Barker. He wasn't the first, excuse me, he wasn't the first host of the show, but I think he was the second. And now they got the Drew Carey. He's on there. I'm pretty sure it's still going. I'm not home during Price is Right, so I don't get to see it anymore. I remember last time I remember it had Drew Carey, and I wasn't a fan of it, so I don't even know. It was kind of disappointing, and I didn't like it. But anyways, yeah, that's why I got this card mainly, because the Showcase Showdown. I guess what you would do is send in a postcard, and they would tell you, you would see the merchandise, and then basically you would bid on this merchandise. And from my understanding, if you got it right, whoever's closest got the merchandise. Now, I'm sure you probably had to pay taxes on the merchandise pretty similar to what you do now. But yeah, I never had seen a postcard at the Price is Right Showcase Showdown on it. So it's kind of interesting. So this next postcard comes to me from Brainerd, Minnesota, I guess it is. That is near St. Paul, Minnesota. So let's see what I got in the St. Paul, Minnesota area. It's kind of a long envelope here. Don't remember getting anything long. Maybe that's all the envelope they had. That's just a regular size postcard. Excuse me. Got a little frog in my throat. This is the Gardens Motel in Theodore, Alabama. Now, if you're not familiar with Theodore, Alabama, it is just south of Mobile, Alabama on Highway 90. Just a little small community, I guess you'd say. It's not real big. I'm not sure how many people there. There's not a lot of people there. Getting kind of bigger as Mobile spreads out. But this motel is actually still there. It is still called the Well, I take that back. when you go and look on Google, there is actually two names for it. One is the Garden Motel, and one is the Budget Stay Motel, I believe. Now, the sign that's out front it's actually right over here now. It was updated between 2011 and 2013, I think it was. Going back and looking at the historical photos of it. But the sign still says Garden Inn, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see there was different, kind of a little variation of signs. Now, this hotel does not have a very good past to it. Early 2020s, there was a man that was beat to death there. He didn't actually pass away there. He passed away at the hospital, later that day, later that evening type thing. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. It does not have the best reputation. It has, at one point, they were busting a lot of ladies of the night, I guess you could say there. It's kind of cleaned up since then a little bit, but still, it doesn't have it's not the Hilton, folks. All right. Now, this hotel was opened in the early to mid 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what caused this hotel kind of to go there was just, I'm trying to think, it's either over here or over here is a road that takes you south into the county more, and that is where Bellingraph Gardens is. Now, Bellingraph Gardens, if you don't know, is this pretty good sized, I want to say it's probably like 75 to 100 acre, give or take, I may be wrong. It's a big garden. The guy that started it bought the property in the early 1910s, I think it is, or late 1910s, somewhere in the area. The guy's name was Bellingraph. His last name was Bellingraph. He was actually a Coca-Cola distributor or something like that. He got money a bunch of different ways, but Coca-Cola distributor is what brings back. Anyway, so bought the property early, mid 1910s. And in the early 30s, they actually opened it up to the public and where people could go around. It has ponds and lakes and little streams and bridges and different sections of themed areas, I guess you would say. It's pretty interesting. I've been there a handful of times. They even do a big Christmas light, static Christmas light display there around the holiday time. It's pretty neat to go to. Yeah, if you're ever in the Mobile area and you got a couple hours to kill, go down there and check out Bellingraph Gardens. But anyways, this hotel was kind of banking on the people that were coming to Bellingraph staying there, because it started getting more popular and more popular in the 40s and 50s and 60s. It's still pretty popular to this day, but this hotel was a good reason to go to the gardens, because once you left, you had a place to stay, and there was a couple of restaurants nearby that you could do. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. So enough chatter. Let's take a look and see what it says here about it. It says, closest court to the world-famous Bellingraph Gardens, 7.5 miles west of Mobile city limits on new 4-lane Highway 90, which is interesting because the 4-lane ends just past the hotel to the west. Completely air-conditioned, 24-hour cafe and car service. If you look there, there is a gas station, and I think the gas station is gone. The office is still there, but the gas station is gone. Mobile is the city of Six Flags, Azalea Trail, Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo, Mardi Gras, Bankhead Tunnel, and Ladd Stadium. Now, believe it or not, just got done with Mardi Gras, and Mobile is theoretically or technically the home of Mardi Gras. Not New Orleans, believe it or not. Some people will fight me on that one, but it is what it is. I could care less, really. Yeah, just kind of interesting, cool old postcard. Postmarked. Ooh, that's kind of hard to tell. Looks like 1962. If you can read that. 62. We're gonna go with 1962. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. Kind of a little local piece of history. It's not too far from the house, but yeah, it's obviously it's not what it used to be. So this next postcard comes to me from the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, more specifically Almond, Wisconsin. Not familiar with Almond, Wisconsin. Let's take a look and see. Okay. I know what this is. This is the Bayou Pierre First Presbyterian Church. That's located just outside of Port Gibson, Mississippi. Now, this is about 3-4 miles, maybe not even that far, away from the Natchez Trace Parkway. Whenever I started my Natchez Trace trip here a couple of years ago on the south side, this was actually a stop that I made. It wasn't exactly on the trace, but it was on the way back to the trace from the ghost town of Rodney and the big mansion ruins there out there. Anyways, I actually got to go in here and see it. Now, I don't recall this sign being there when I was there. This right here is a old cistern, or a replica, actually. We're going to go over that in just a minute. And that covering canopy is not there anymore. But the building still looks pretty much the same. So let's take a look and see what it says here. It says, a replica of an early log church, Grand Gulf State Military Park, one of the first Presbyterian buildings in the state. Originally erected in 1801, replica is constructed of old logs in 1960. Located 4 miles southwest of Port Gibson, Mississippi at Bayou Pierre's scenic overlook. Kind of gives you a little bit of a map there. You've got Natchez Trace Parkways in here. Windsor Ruins, that's what I was thinking of. Windsor Ruins. It is actually right in this area here, I believe. Yep. So anyways, so if you ever go to see the Windsor Ruins, this is out there. It's kind of in a right-hand turn if you're heading towards Port Gibson, and there's one little dirt road that's kind of grown up. I want to say there's a, what do you call them, historical marker out there on the road, on Rodney Road, but if you blink, you'll miss it. I actually had to turn around because just passed it right up. But anyways, the road is right down the hill here. If you can get kind of hard, you can't see it, but it's up on a hill. Now, this is a replica. I actually thought it was the original one. I made a video about it and posted it on the Natchez Trace Parkway Facebook group, and one of the gentlemen that actually helped build this or helped design it or did some research on it, something like that, he was the one that corrected me and said, no, this is not the original, this is the one. It was a replica, and it was built in 1960, as we saw there. But anyways, it was kind of cool because I've never seen this postcard. I don't even remember how I came across it. I think I was just searching Mississippi postcards, and it popped up, and I was scrolling, and I didn't even look at the caption. And I looked at the building. I was like, I know that building. I was just there, a year or so ago. So, didn't pay a whole lot for it, but it was kind of cool to go ahead and get it. Yeah, so just a cool piece of the Natchez Trace Parkway history. If you want to take a look at that video I have for that church that we just looked at, I'll see if I can link it somewhere up here in the comments or the top. I don't know. Sometimes I forget to do that, but it might be up there. If not, just go back and search. You'll find it. So this next postcard comes to us from College Grove, Tennessee. Yeah, it was metered, but it doesn't say where College Grove, Tennessee is near. So anyways, if you know where College Grove, Tennessee is, let me know in the comment section. Don't know where that's at. You gotta be careful there. There we go. Got a sharp blade on that knife. Okay. Let's see how many knows what this is. This was one of those oddities I've kind of found. I guess you say the oddity. Does anybody recognize what that says right there? South of the border. Now, a lot of people know what south of the border is that live in the North Carolina, South Carolina, and that area. That is the little roadside stand that is on the side of Interstate, 95, I think it is? Yeah, I-95. It's been there for ages. It's been there for 50 years, probably. This was a prototype, a design, can't think of the real term for it. It was an idea of what they were fixing to build on the other side of where south of the border is. It was a concept. There was a concept idea that was supposed to be built. That never happened. Now, there is some things similar to it. There is like a dome. It's not really a dome, but a circle across the street from the south of the border. But I just thought that was interesting because this never happened, and they made postcards talking about it happening. So let's take a look here and see what it says. Scale border of Pedro's fabulous new south of the border west. A $5 million addition for your vacation pleasure. Scheduled for completion in 1971. Now, this never happened. It never made it. I don't know why it didn't make it, but it never made it. A little history of south of the border. It started in 1949, 1950 as just a basic little beer stand right there on the South Carolina, North Carolina border, because North Carolina was the counties in that area were a dry county. So Joe made him a little beer stand, one of those last stop beer stands where people bought beer before they, went back home from vacation or things like that. Later on, he added a little grill and seating area, made hamburgers, hot dogs, probably something like that, probably. Then in the mid-50s, he added a motel. So business started picking up pretty good over the last, 4 or 5 years, 6 years that they were there. Motel, and then a gift shop, and had little Mexican trinkets. Probably some of them were from Mexico. That some of them may have been just made in China junk. I don't know. I've never been there. I really want to go there, but it's just one of those places kind of out of the way for me to go run and do. Then later on, he had a little cocktail lounge and a gas station. And then in the early 60s, he made a fireworks stand because fireworks were illegal in North Carolina at the time. We're in that area. Sometime in the mid-60s, that I-95 was announced, and it was literally going to go right past south of the border. So they lucked out being right there on the interstate and the highway that was there. So they got traffic from all different angles of it, I guess. So that's probably what saved this place, was the interstate getting so close to it. If it would have been probably 20, 30 miles to the east or west, the south of the border probably wouldn't be nothing at all today. Now, I think in the mid-60s or 70s, they added some more stuff that was such as like a barbershop, drugstore, variety store. I think he had a post office there, and I want to say go-karts, and also a little small amusement park. The amusement park is still there, but it doesn't operate anymore. I think some of the rides are gone. They sold them off. A real small roadside amusement park. It wasn't nothing to write home about. But I think that's where I came across this postcard, because I found the amusement park postcard that I'm looking at. There's a couple I'm looking at getting, and just happened to run across this one as a related item that was inexpensive. And I started looking at it, and it's a concept that never happened. So that was even kind of cooler. You can see here it's postmarked from 1970, and yeah, like I said, this never happened. So kind of interesting little postcard. If you've ever been to the south of the border, let me know what you thought about it. I've seen a couple of videos and things of it, but I'd like to hear kind of firsthand experience. What you thought about it. Did you ever go to that theme park or that amusement park and ride the little rides or whatever? You remember this being a concept? Do you know why this didn't make it around? Why this didn't happen? Let me know in the comment section below. Moving right along this Mailbag Monday. This is the last postcard. It comes to you from Westchester, Ohio. Kind of a longer envelope. These longer envelopes kind of get me sometimes. Makes me wonder if I got something odd shaped or odd size. No, it just has a little invoice in it, so you don't need to see all that invoice information. But I tell you, I paid like less than $2 for this postcard. How I came across it, I was just probably searching Gatlinburg postcards, because this is the Parkway Cafeteria that's located on the Parkway in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. If you're not familiar with it, let's take a look and see what it says about it. It says, fine foods cooked to perfection and served in pleasant surroundings. Table service from 6:30 to 11. Cafeteria service from 11 to 10:30. Rebel rooms, short orders, steaks, shrimp, lobsters with your favorite beverage. What's a rebel room? What's a rebel room? Never heard that in my life. Anyways, this is gone. If you've been to Gatlinburg recently in the last probably 5 or 6 years, I'm not sure how long, if you know where the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company is, this is where Bubba Gump Shrimp Company is now. I want to say this opened in the 50s or 60s, I'm not mistaken. I'm doing a little research. I saw somebody talking about it on one of the forums, or I don't remember where it was at. But anyway, I think it was 50s or 60s. And then it was Parkway Cafeteria for a good little bit. And then they changed the name to Lazy Susan, if I'm not mistaken. And that was stuck around for a little bit. And then it had a various amount of different names between then and when it became the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Now, I was there 15 years ago, maybe 16 years ago. I don't remember Bubba Gump being there. And I don't remember this building being there. I just don't remember. That's been quite a while. If you're unfamiliar with the area even now, off over here is that Space Needle. So right around the corner here, this is Airport Road. You got Parkway Road right here in front. Airport Road runs down the back, and about a block back here is that Space Needle. Right, I forgot what they call it, Space Tower, something tower, the big tower thing you go top and look. But anyways, yeah, paid less than $2 for this postcards. That's why I went ahead and got it, and just kind of go along good with the old Gatlinburg postcard collection. So got an interesting little, mix of postcards. Got a couple hotels, got a church, cafeteria, and a rest stop thing, hotel extravaganza that never made it. Just kind of weird how things come out. Things of the past, things that never happened, things that are still there, things that I'm not sure about, and things that are not there. Kind of interesting little mix. Nothing too crazy. Seeing that postcard there, the old Presbyterian church, that kind of interested me. I like coming across that stuff that don't get to see very often, and I don't think I paid too much money for it. The concept building of the self of the board, that's interesting. I don't know why that didn't make it. If you know why that didn't make it, let me know. The Highway 45 and 78 Travelers Motel. I don't think I said what it was. A Travelers Motel. If you know where that was at, or you know what's there now, let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to kind of know. I'll probably be getting up towards Tupelo probably early this summer, or if not this summer, next fall. I'm moving my way up through the state doing campgrounds and things like that, and I'm gonna try to hit the northern ones later this summer or before it gets too hot out, if not in the fall. So, but trying to hit the southern ones now while it's kind of cooler down here now and not really cold, because the ones up north are really cold right now. Well, not really cold, but too cold for me to be camping in, so I like to be comfortable. Anyways, enough rambling. Yeah, if you got anything to say about them, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. I don't know what else to say right now, but I hope everybody has a good week. I'm going to finish up my coffee. Oh, wait, didn't tell you what my coffee mug is. This is from Lambert's Cafe. They're in Foley? Yeah, Foley, Alabama. Home of the Throwed Rolls. If you've ever been there, let me know. You like the rolls? But anyways, appreciate y'all watching. See you next time.